Hey everyone, welcome back with BoboMcloud, where today we're going to look into something different. We're going to deep dive into two beta builds of WWF No Mercy for the N64 as they have just recently been released, so I'm for once going to cover something a little more current. Before we start, credit is in order. To paraphrase, NamiyoVT and SK Styles contacted Baker64 about the ROMs. Baker64 gave them both the ROMs, but NamiyoVT was the one that uploaded them. As for the cartridges, BoboMcloud is likely the current owner of them. Also, I was notified of the release of these games on Reddit by 90s Fave Key. So shout out to those guys for finally providing us with one of the greatest pieces of wrestling gaming history with this one. Download links are in the description as well if you want to look into these yourself as well. And one last disclaimer, I am not a coder, I am not a modder, I am not a data diddler. So everything you will see is what we can find based off of what the games themselves allow us to see. But enough stalling, let's start off with the E3 demo build from June of 2000. Alright, so we're going to start off and you're going to be able to see right away there is no intro, there is no credits, opening credits, and we're going to check out the descriptions for all the menus here. And as you can see, we have a referee match in this particular demo. Survival. Player selects one wrestler and wrestles with as many as 100 to see how many wrestlers he can beat without losing a match. A major superstar shows up every 10 wrestlers and challenges the player. And these descriptions are important for later as they do show up later on, but they're different from the base game. 4 wrestlers start to wrestle until one wrestler survives all. Players can set up wrestlers in the event. As one wrestler loses, a new wrestler comes into the match, up to 30 superstars. That is a lie, by the way. Create your own original wrestlers and use them in matches. You can store those wrestlers in a controller pack and exchange them with your friends. To recreate an event, player can set up the name of the event, date, show site, number of matches, and contents of matches. It is possible to recreate shows from the past or shows in the future. I don't think that really makes sense, but whatever. Select signs or BGMs. I don't know what signs are. Recreation of King of the Ring by pay-per-view. 3 to 16 wrestlers can participate in this event. Customized events can be held. King of the Ring is a bracket tournament style pay-per-view. Also strange wording. You can spend points you earn in the game and buy items in the shopping mall. Extra points and merchandise in the Game Boy version. I wonder what that would have meant. This is a story mode. There are different scenarios for each of the championship belts in the WWF. Difficulty setting of wrestler, scenario, and events are different depending on the WWF title. And load or saved wrestlers you created from or to into controller pack. My bad. As you can see, there it is, guest referee, which is definitely, I'm sure, something they want to show off in this build right away. So I'm going to show you guys the models. You're going to notice, I'll show in just a second, none of these guys have any sort of alternate costumes, so it's just these base outfits. And you can already tell that even though it's more virtual pro wrestling, WrestleMania 2000, the textures are updated. I believe these are the same textures that they would use in the final build of No Mercy. Obviously, some character faces changes. Like, obviously, Taz looks so much more pissed than he does in the final game than he does in this. Obviously, he has, his wrist tape, all this sort of stuff. But these are the 6 characters you can play as in this demo build. So you get 3 returning veterans to the series, and you get 3 completely new ones, which I think is very interesting. And they were all, well, I wouldn't say all of them were fresh, big new stars of the, the WWF at the time. I think Taz, even Aki was probably thinking that maybe he was going to be a little bit bigger than what he ended up as, but he fizzled out pretty quickly, unfortunately. I think it's something that is pretty cool to note is I just love these menu graphics. I believe at the time this was going to be the aspect they were going to go with. Maybe not, but a lot of people call this the SmackDown 64 build. I've heard that thrown around a bit. I don't know how true that is. Some people say that the reason it wasn't going to be SmackDown 64 is simply because, obviously SmackDown came out in March. So they changed their tune, and you're about to see full entrances if you haven't watched the other videos that I posted. But you also notice there are no matchup screens in this build either. So that's an interesting little detail. And, hey, still got his WrestleMania 2000 entrance ramp taunt. So that's an interesting little detail. And you can tell, you know, it's a bit glitchy. As you can see, you know, the ring kind of goes past the barricades or whatever, but a pretty solid looking arena. I actually really love the way this looks. That's probably my favorite entrance of the whole game. Not going to look at all the entrances in this build, in this particular video, but like I said, there is in my playlist, you can watch all 6 of the entrances. And I believe with this too, it's weird, this is the final stage I believe they went with in WWF No Mercy. So just to see how it looks here, I don't know, it's so weird because obviously the ramp in that stage doesn't match the ramp in the arena in here. And also, that was obviously based off of WrestleMania 2000 stuff. So I'm not going to showcase the entire match. I'm just going to showcase points of interest, in my opinion. So we're going to take a look at some of the weapons. Obviously, I'm going to show off right away. There are no backstage areas, unfortunately. Still grab weapons. In this build in particular, there are still all the weapons you can honestly see. So we got the bat, we got the bamboo. Oh wow, it actually fell through the floor in this stage. Everywhere else it actually kind of stays. Blood is available here, as you can see. No ladders, but the full, half ladders were going to be used as weapons. I don't know if that was just something for this demo, or if they just weren't ready. They didn't think they could pull off the ladder match in this build yet. But you got the water bottle as well. The barbed wire bat. And here are the announcer tables. It's kind of more or less barricades at this point. I am very irritated because it looks so. This arena is so awesome. Just everything from the floor padding, the arenas. I think the barricades somehow just look better to me. And I love the actual ramp they have. Not during entrances because it is different, like I said, but look at that ramp up the aisle. Just looks so much better and more accurate. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't understand why we didn't get, 2 announce tables in the final build. There definitely was going to be room for them. And as you can hear, there are also no sound effects when you land on weapons. Just wanted to point that out to you guys as well. If you're wondering too, this is just showcasing the fact that there still is the analog stick in which you can just hold it down for as long as you want and get quick and easy wins. This time we're just showing it in a submission style move. And you can hold on for as long as you want. Classic pedigree we all know and love. And you can actually still steal opponents' finishing moves or their ground specials, as there are no ground finishers in this build. But that was something that was in this series since Revenge. Running grapples, of course. And the Rock's spine buster is a little different. He doesn't go to the head this time. Also of note, like I said, no ground specials. The Rock can use the people's elbow just at any time he wants, just like WrestleMania 2000. Like I said, no special noises when you land on a weapon. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, this is actually what it was built off of, so just something interesting. He still has the same voice files of, the referee from Virtual Pro Wrestling. Rikishi does not have his sidekick they would get later on in the game. Got the Rikishi driver, however. So really cool to see these new animations. We got the bonsai drop right here as well. Of course, there's not that super spastic cell that we would get later on in No Mercy. However, there is no stink face. I'm sure that was very disappointing for everybody who wanted to see that in the demo build. But we got it in the final version, so all is forgiven. He's still backing that thing up. And DQ is still a thing, but no announcer files for it. But man, I gotta say, I love this arena. It's got so much charm to it. Man, I wish we could have gotten 2 announced tables. But we can't complain about things that are well over 20 years old. Or well, I guess I just did, so never mind. Now we're gonna check out the guest referee a little bit. Now the glitch for the special guest referee, in which you use both top buttons at the same time and you just kind of spaz out and can go out of bounds, that is still a thing here. But you're about to see here is that I don't know why it doesn't work in this, but no matter how far you go out, you're always just kind of teleported back into the ring anyway. So maybe they were aware of this at the time, they didn't care, and somehow it's just the out of bounds are just a lot more I don't know, they're just not well put together, you know, as Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 as they are at No Mercy. First blood matches are also available in this build. Figured I'd show that off. As well as Tornado Tag Team matches. So this build has quite a few match types built into it, just based off of the natural matches. Or match options, I should say. So a lot of charm, very just fun to play, honestly. It kind of just makes me wish there were more characters. But now we're going to look into the August beta build, and this is the latest build that we were able to see. You know, that was the June E3 2000 build that we were just playing. Now we are on August of 2000. So No Mercy came out in November. So I believe there might be one more build from September, but I'm not 100% sure on that. There's some IGN videos that show up, but I don't know how trustworthy they are. And as you can see here, you know, it gave us at the start of the game, I don't know what the option, it said exhibition, what they were going to put there as like maybe a start game or something like that, or maybe you could just select which of the 3 areas you want to start in or something weird like that. But it gave you a nice view of the whole thing going there, which is you never really get a whole good look at the whole main menu setup in No Mercy. So I figured I'd let you guys see that. And as you can see, mostly all the same menu descriptions. And if you paid attention, when I clicked on the Royal Rumble for Team Battle and you know, random, not only was random spelled Ramdam, but it was also Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 graphics, which is interesting. And we're going to see a little bit more of just placeholder graphics from previous games. Not too much, but just fun little interesting things. And also in the game guide for No Mercy, it kind of specified that, you know, every 10 wrestlers, you know, who come out, it's supposed to be like this specific wrestler. If you play No Mercy Survival, you know that's not the case. It's usually pretty random. Like, obviously, you know, the first people to come out are usually like Pat Patterson or Gerald Briscoe or whatever. But yeah, most of the it's not like every 10 or whatever. So I guess that was just a concept they didn't go with. You can set up the options, but it just doesn't ever save. Nothing saves in this build. And the records, as you can hear, it's like a shotgun blast. We cannot access them. They're just an idea that I guess just never came to fruition for whatever reason. So like I said, you know, they're the VPW2 textures. And this is the main menu system. Also, look at that. Royal Ramble next to multiplayer. Fun fact, that is actually not fixed in the final build. Lots of misspellings you're going to see. Especially when we do championship mode. Oh my lord. It's going to be it's a trip, folks. Trust me. And as you can see, nobody's stats are proper, you know. Like the Big Show's not really 8'4", you know, Cactus Jack is not 0'0". I don't think Billy Gunn's 470 pounds. But I'm just gonna show you guys the roster a little bit. And you're gonna see a lot of differences. You know, some characters look like they're pretty much just ready for release, which is interesting. But others, yeah, I mean they're definitely not very good looking. Like Rikishi looks ready for release. I don't know that much differences with him. We got some different faces. Some of these people freak me the hell out, like Edge. Matt and Jeff Hardy look like the final versions, just Jeff had his that's his secondary outfit instead of his primary. And Devon Dudley having sleeves, that was cool. I don't know why they didn't just make, you know, 2 different shirts for him. So, you know, kind of lame. Al Snow looks like a mess based from head cheese. They didn't have the shaved heads either, so characters like Mark Henry or Barbara Dudley have the shaved heads. Yeah, they just have like regular hair. S.A. Rios looks like he just got back from Cancun. Now he's spazzing out about it. Taka Michinoku, and of course we still have Funaki. Interesting, no right to censor, by the way. As right to censor, I believe, just debuted in August. No alternate attires, of course, like I said. I think everybody is here, but like no outfits, essentially. Except for you'll see an you know, an exception to that rule. Lita is also, you know, Hardy Boys attire, however, she is still has like her S.A. Rios theme and stuff. So weird little oddities. And here's the craziest thing. Lillian Garcia was going to be in this game. That's insane to me. I have to wonder why she wasn't included. If it was like contract disputes, they didn't want her to have a contract like that, or what. I don't know. It's crazy to think that. I think this is the first time I've ever heard anybody mention her not being in this game. Probably because nobody, who the hell's going to check the cat, you know? But I actually got that off of the Reddit. But as you can see, the one exception to the rule are the hoes, who have, you know, an outfit for each. And it's interesting because like their outfits for the first 2 characters are swapped, which is kind of weird. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, I think all 4 of those guys actually just ready for release. And then we just got a whole bunch of created wrestlers that use the Rocks model. Of course, here's the menu matchup screen. The classic WrestleMania 2000 1999 Raw's War background too. And as you can see as well, kind of like in WrestleMania 2000, you know, you had to press the button before you, you know, can start the match. The characters are breathing, you know, doing that weird stance for whatever reason. And you can see the verses, you know, beating like a heartbeat as well, like it does in WrestleMania 2000 as well. So that's just some interesting things. Royal Rumble, of course, as well. Can't forget about that. And I don't know, it's always kind of creepy to me when you press the button and then those guys are just kind of still just staying there for a second on a black screen. As you can see, this is pretty much just the final build of Raw in the game. Well, except for the SmackDown nameplates. Every single arena has the SmackDown nameplates. As you can see, this game still has full entrances. Some of them look pretty good. They just need camera angle differences, like, you know, Big Show, Kane. However, even guys like Stone Cold, you're gonna see they're not quite retail ready. And unfortunately, obviously, you know, we know in the final game they never would be retail ready. And he doesn't have his BMF walk. I think he's still going at the same speed though, which is interesting. But obviously he didn't go to the 4 corners. He just wanted to get it all done in the center of the ring. But one of the reasons I picked Triple H is because you'll notice that the 6 characters that were included in the E3 demo build, who had all their entrances all ready and set, they're still all perfectly normal and functional with lighting and proper placement of you know, their taunts and everything, and cameras and stuff like that in this build as well, which is really cool. A lot of people say that they just couldn't figure out how to get the entrances to work, and that's why we don't have the full entrance or whatever. Maybe it was just a time issue. I mean, there's so much speculation. Some people say it was a time issue. I've heard one of the developers, Sanders Keel, he did an interview and he said that it was due to the fact that they added so many new match types and, you know, championship mode. It just took too much of the memory up for it these full entrances to fit on the disc. So I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, there's probably a whole few reasons. It's not just one big reason as to why this game doesn't have full entrances. But as you can see, some characters, they do enter the ring, go to the center of the ring, and even though it's a behind shot, the camera doesn't change. You know, it's still interesting that they going to the ring. And I didn't show off, you know, the match, but you can see for whatever reason, you know, everybody's the Big Show and stuff like that. Rematch thing still works though. Also, I didn't even mention this. I believe that the Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 versus is that symbol, but I could be wrong actually. I think I'm just thinking of, yeah, I think that is No Mercy. I think I just got confused because it's in the wrong place maybe. Yeah, we're gonna show off the Rock's entrance, and this is the only game that has entrances in the steel cage. Watch this, guys. This is how they were gonna work around, you know, the cage. Yep. In all honesty, you know, jokes aside, all they really had to do, especially since everybody, you know, in the final game, if they did complete entrances, everybody wouldn't go to that corner. But all they really had to do was just put like an open door there that all the wrestlers would enter through. And I mean, entrances are in cage. I mean, there wouldn't be any issues with that, I would imagine. I mean, they'd also have to make sure that people don't walk through the steps either, but yeah, as you can see, pretty much Mankind's taunt, you know, in which he kind of just does his taunt on the ring apron and stuff like that instead of going inside. That's the majority of people, though, is what I was trying to say earlier. And as you can see, it's not a proper cage match because we can just go in and out of the cage, and, you know, don't even try fighting inside of it because you're not going to be able to see anything. So let's check the backstage areas here, as they do exist. Important to note, you cannot drag people like you would if you were close enough and throw them to the ground in the next area in the final game. Still can't go over to the side in the SmackDown stage. And, you know, you don't start off to where, you know, everything kind of, people are, you know, in a proper position. It's pretty much as soon as it starts up, they're just looking at each other like that. So, no running animation in or anything like that. And of course, I'm going to primarily play as The Rock for this build to showcase it because as you just seen, there's one of his taunts is just glitched to where you can just hold it and you'll get a second taunt, and like, can't even talk. You can get a special in like 2 seconds, not even. So we're going to check out the SummerSlam arena with this though. For whatever reason, when I tried to look at the pool hall in the cage match, it just doesn't load. The game crashes, so that's just something to keep in mind. This is a very glitchy build. This build in particular is just kind of a thing of all the ideas and pieces to the puzzle, I guess you could say, that they wanted to put in this game. It's inside of it for the most part. Obviously, they would add a lot more stuff later on, like the right to censor and whatnot. But it's all the parts to the game, but not functional, if that makes sense. Like, they're just ready to be, you know, properly put in place in a way. And you may have noticed, if you could hear it over my babbling, you know, the Road Dogg's theme is a little bit different in this build, as he does not say, "Oh, you didn't know," no vocals, which I think is actually a bit of a running theme in certain games, like betas, featuring the Road Dogg. I don't know if it's like he has a right to his vocals or something like that, but it's kind of weird. As you can see, the title is just kind of floating above the ring like that. All sorts of weird. It's almost like it's T-posing in a way, as there's no proper placement for it. No briefcase either, as this is not for a title. You cannot select any titles for exhibition match in this build. And here's a diving attack. Yeah, there's so many glitchy animations in this. You cannot do ground moves, whether it's strikes or grapples. A lot of times, you know, moves are just not properly implemented in the game yet, so they'll just spaz out. No running grapples do not work in this build either, despite working in the, you know, the demo build, because this is WWF No Mercy at this point, instead of, you know, building off the back of Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, which is what the demo was. Apparently I cannot get on that ladder, so we're just gonna, I'm assuming if you set it up right, it's tough because there's no shadow for the belts either, I'm assuming if you set it up right and, you know, say a stage or this hallway, you'll be able to end the ladder match, you know, backstage or something. But why don't we check out some other areas? We're going to go to the boiler room. And as you can see, already some differences. Obviously, you've seen the doors were shut in the hallway, which is cool. Never usually get to see the doors in the hallways, but with this, I like how you actually get to see a really, you get to see the whole boiler room. But you can also see no weapons scattered around like they would be. Nothing has any collisions, so you just kind of stop. You can't, you know, bust someone's head against a wall or anything like that, unfortunately. So we're gonna head out of here. Gonna go to the locker room. Now, an interesting note: there is only one table instead of two. I guess they had a thing with, you know, spacing or whatever. You cannot grab weapons out of these lockers. You cannot pick up the chairs. You cannot go on the table or anything like that. You can't throw people into the walls once again. So that's just a thing to note. And outside of the cage match, you can in fact go into the pool room or the sports bar or whatever. Once again, you know, you can't go on the pool table. There is no, you know, pool stick on it either. It does seem smaller to me, but maybe that's just, maybe I'm just, as kids used to say, tripping. Once again, you cannot throw anybody into anything. And you can't grab weapons behind the bar either, unfortunately. So just the basic bare bones of the room, which, you know, whatever, it's pretty cool. All the aesthetic details are here, which is pretty cool. And finally, we got the parking lot. As you can see, the ladder's still here, out of reach. And it seems like there's things like walls are going to be extended because there's like a car in the way rather than it being backed up. So maybe that was going to be a little bit further out. And I feel like this this pillar kind of blocks your way a little bit. Whereas I think in the original, the actual release, like there's a transparency effect added to them. And of course, once again, you cannot, you know, get inside the trunk. As far as weapons go, there still are some left over that show up. However, yeah, most of them are just invisible, unfortunately. There we go. Oh, actually, that one's the microphone. And I believe it's from Virtual Pro Wrestling as well. It's tough to see, though, because it's black. This announce table still works. You can slam people through, of course. And it's a ladder match. The pin isn't active because it isn't a part of the rule set modifier, but you can still go for pins. I don't think that's something you can do in the final release. Next, we're going to go for pay-per-views, and this is just glitched all heck. And as you can see, these are obviously from WrestleMania 2000, which I think is pretty interesting. And some of the arenas, they just don't work for pay-per-view mode. Like, you have to pick a specific arena or else it won't allow you to continue. And as you can see, we set up Chris Benoit versus Dean Malenko. Their profile pictures in this are, for whatever reason, The Rock's. I don't know why. As everybody does have their profile pictures in this game. And this is also set up like Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, I believe. Obviously, there's no date. We have no idea when this is taking place, of course. We don't know how many people attended or anything like that. But I kind of wish they did keep that view of it in the final build. I think it's just better than what they went with. As you can see, now we have no data, but we also can't exit. We can't skip the match. So we're going to see what happens. And as you can see, despite the fact we set up a match, we just have these two default models. WrestleMania 2000 as well, as you can see, it's just the ring itself. They haven't gotten the stage yet. But as you can see, there's no name. Which is interesting because usually with the default character in the retail release, they don't even have a walking animation. They just slide out of the ring. Well, at least there's no animation there. Yeah, it's just the same entrance, so we'll skip it. Now you can see we have a fatal 4-way with The Rock. And if you even just try and move, the game just glitches out. It soft locks, so you have to restart, unfortunately. So now, I think we're going to check out some of the features in the SmackDown Mall. And I don't know about you, but I'm already sick of that freaking shotgun blast for the menus. I'm glad they changed the the menu sound effects. Now this is the shop of what's available. There's a few, I think everything that was in here made it to the final release except for that Mr. Ass 2. I kind of wonder what that would have been. If it would have been a see-through outfit, you know, his mesh that was in WrestleMania 2000 or something. But I don't think we ever got it. Here's the stable. You can change the name of the stables. Stables are also a lot different, as you've seen earlier. We're going to try and switch somebody to a different spot, but it's not really letting me pick, so I guess never mind. Let's try and change clone. Soft lock. So you can't clone anybody to anything. Now this is the creative superstar, you know, default model, and you can see that instead of a profile picture up there, which you can't even select, it's not even an option in this build, it's just your character model right up front, which I'm glad they changed because it doesn't make any sense if you're just creating someone. Just entering random nonsense here. And you can see here, no matter what function I try and put it at, it doesn't change its height in the slightest. So, interestingly enough, all the characters is at, you know, default heights that are set for them by whatever the team made. Even had the Crash Holly 400 pounds light heavyweight build. That's awesome. We'll check out the music and later, but there are no Titantrons in this game. There's data, just, you know, placeholders for them, but nothing ever actually pops up. And that just soft locked. Now we're gonna try and change something by editing the rock, and let's see if it's saved. It did not, as you can see. And I'm not gonna look at any of the moves really or anything because they're kind of just messed up files. I mean, if you want to check those out, you know, I do have a video that showcases a little bit without any commentary. I've released a few of these things. You know, and I'm gonna release a few more of them of just stuff that's available in this game. But once again, if you actually want to check out any of these stuff yourself, you know, the download links are in the description below. Just like any of the other beta videos I release, as well as, you know, credit. I give credit where it's due, but time to look at some faces. And good lord, that Stone Cold face is terrifying. I think that was his WrestleMania 2000 face for The Undertaker, the Big Show face. I think that's Mankind. I have no idea. A lot of these are tough to tell. I think that Triple H face was actually a lot better than what we got in the release. Road Dogg's face is probably one of the worst facial likenesses in this game, though. I don't know what it is, but it just looks off. And some of them, like I said, you can see they're just... They made it to the final release, so some people didn't need edits, but some others are just kind of interesting cases to see their beta faces. Ken Shamrock. That is Grandmaster Sexay's face. For whatever reason, they went to the back to the WrestleMania 2000 eyes closed look in the final release for whatever reason. And there's Gangrel's face, as usual. There are the extra character faces in this build as well that go unused, such as the Mean Street Posse you'll see later on, some of the Japanese faces from Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. But Gangrel, interestingly enough, him and Dude Love are two characters that kind of seem a little more complete than others. I think WWF was replaced very early on, and I think he was actually replaced by Mick Foley himself. As for whatever reason, Mick Foley has WWF's theme as his normal theme instead of the Mankind. And Gangrel, he kind of has, you know, you're gonna see he has his song. He has a Titantron spot for him. He has special pants in you know, the Creator Wrestler mode. It's just the regular long, basic long pants that Mankind uses, long tights or whatever. But the fact that he was gonna get his own slot for pants and everything, I mean, I know that doesn't sound like much, but I think there's a lot of evidence in this, even though he's not actually playable at all in this build. That I think he was cut very, very late in the development. As you can see, some of these faces, there's just things that don't exist for them. There's draws. Kind of interesting how they got away with using some of these faces. And there are some missing faces also, you know, 79, 80. I wonder what those faces were. And then you got the Headbangers, of course, another missing face. Another Draws face. It's interesting. Kind of looked like Lance Storm a second, but these are the extra Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 faces. Some of them also have like weird code lines on them. I think that's what those are. Kind of looks like he has rug burn or something though. Also, I wanted to show off for the Dreads hair option. It is incomplete, as for whatever reason when you try and select that hair, the face is just completely blacked out. So that's why the Godfather doesn't have it in this build. Up next, we're going to listen to some unused entrance themes as well. Alright, so as you can see, we had a lot of good stuff there, to be honest. Here are the Titantrons. I'm showing off some key ones. Obviously, Gangrel was going to have one. BB, if you don't know who she is, that is Barbara Bush. She was only there for like 2 months at the beginning of like 2000. She was just essentially a paramedic. Barbara Bush was like her name. It was a joke or something silly like that. But it's kind of sad, all the, you know, the kind of care they would put in with the Titantrons and the actual music selection and stuff like that, similar to what they had in WrestleMania 2000, that we just kind of got screwed out of, just like full entrances in the final game. Now we're going to do championship mode. Very interesting, I'll say that. It's 4 chapters in length. All the belts are the same. You cannot pick the extra options of, you know, whatever Stone Cold and The Rock story were, and Superstar. I don't know what those were going to be. Probably something to do with the Game Boy. I don't know if they were going to be separate. There was going to be multiple of the Game Boy scenarios you could play as in the Game Boy release, but who knows. Why do you cheer Cast 1 instead of cheering me? I am Olympic. I am also an American hero with tendency, integrity, and I'm assuming intelligence. I'll prove you that I am the real American hero. Jesus. I'm gonna try and read these proper. So this is essentially the testing for championship. So we're gonna see a variety of different match types, arenas, and once again a variety of just different what's the word I'm trying to think of? A variety of different cutscene interactions. So actually, that was the one where you walk out, look at the crowd, and then your opponent just comes and talks after you. We see that cutscene in a lot of Final No Mercy. The easier way to get the alternate storylines, because winning and losing does matter in this build as well, they're all different paths, is just simply to quit out of the match, and it will automatically count as a loss for you. Unfortunately, I'm just showing this off now. If you lose the first match, Humiliation is Chapter 2, and it soft locks the game. It does not load. So it must be some sort of self-humiliation by the game for not being able to load here, I guess. Unfortunate. So we're going to try it again. Tag team, just to show off that I'm trying different paths, but it doesn't change. Also, obviously, you've also noticed that a few characters, they have their entrance outfit on the select screen, but obviously they wrestle in their normal clothes. Just figured I'd show that off to you. Also, the default animations for these things are always just gonna be that nod and hands on hips, nod, look around thing. Also, the announcer's voice is different. I think they just didn't deepen his voice. I think it's the same guy though, but I could be wrong. It sounds like the same exact tones. As you can see, there's no results, you know, no win, loss, names, or anything on the end screen after a match. Here's the cutscene after it. It's over. There's no The Greatest America anymore. I can't see that. Oh no, the real American hero has even lost a game. What's, I'm assuming, going on here? Yeah, there's a few times where instead of saying match, they refer to it as a game. But yeah, this is English at its finest. So enjoy, folks. And if you think, I'll just say this, if you feel offended for me making fun of them, I'll say this. I'll give them credit because they can at least say some English words and stuff like that, even if it doesn't always make sense. I couldn't speak a single word of Japanese or make a sense of it. Who is a real American hero? No kidding. You've also got it all wrong. If you're glad to beat him, how about a ladder match? Would you like to try it? Yes, I think I would. Ladder matches, the AI is really bad in this. As you're about to see, I'm just going to do the full match here because he's just going to let me. And in this build as well, I'm probably not going to show it, but you can actually go backstage with the ladder, which actually what I'm talking about, I showed that to you guys earlier. And obviously there was a reason why you're not allowed to in the final build. So ladder pops up in all the backstage areas. He's just trying, folks. I don't know if he can knock the ladder down or not. You can knock it down, but I don't know if you can do it while someone's on there. And of course, like I said, you can see you're getting money for it, so it's an interesting little, like I said, this is all just kind of proof of concept. I will judge. Vince has asked Guest 1 to be a special guest referee in his match tonight. The match is going to be Rock vs. Big Show. It must be good match. Oh, Rock vs. Big Show, it must be. You must be surprised at being asked special guest referee. In addition, there are just big names in that match. Do you think you can do your job properly? I think Michael Cole's hair is different. Hey, I just do my job. I will be the best referee in the world. You'll just see. The main event for tonight is going to begin. So as you can see, just a lot of things that kind of showcase different cutscene options in No Mercy we'd see later on. Obviously, this is also the guest referee to test the differences in, you know, depending on who you let win and stuff like that. Kind of like the Divas storyline with Tori and, oh jeez. Yeah, like I said, taunts don't really work properly, especially the ground taunts. None of them really seem to work. You'll notice that the camera always just fixates on the two wrestlers rather than the referee. He's not to be included here. A lot of you're gonna see a lot of just animations that don't work in this match. Stone Cold doesn't take that line down. He wants order in his match. This is The Rock attempting to do diving moves. As you can see, it doesn't quite work out for him. And for some reason, the Big Show's attacking me. Well, now I know who I want to win. Well, here you are. A lot of times, it doesn't freeze the game, but it's going to take like a few seconds of something to happen. And you can see there's something going on. There's a submission being applied. Who knows what's actually going on, though, obviously, because the animation just doesn't work properly. And it takes a minute before they kind of reset. You also notice the Big Show is not labeled as a super heavyweight. Andre the Giant has that. Where, you know, you had to do the special lifts, you know, and in the struggle or whatever for the body slam and the backdrop. But those animations are also glitched as well, so they just won't work. You'll just spaz around the screen or whatever. Now this is a very badly programmed ending thing. Also, notice how Triple H's water bottle is just darker for some reason. Trish Stratus on the Titantron as well. Big Show has complained that the last match was rigged. I also considered about that. The judge of Austin might be bad, but just Austin can reverse his judgment. Hey Austin, I know you're in this arena. Come on to the ring. I'm assuming he wants me to reverse the decision. I don't know what's going on here, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Austin, you should reverse your judgment of the last match. It was no contest. This is an order. Do you understand? Jeez. I don't know what's going on with that camera. Also, I just realized they took out The Rock's ramp animation, but he still kind of has that an animation that's supposed to be there. Yeah, look at them. Two jabronis are squawking. Shut your mouth. Would you like to face the great one? I don't care how many you're gonna face me. I'll just kick two of your monkey ass. If you have doubt on this, his judge, we can face on the ring. Just bring it. I mean, clearly they watched The Rock, so they had a lot of his catchphrases, unless if somebody just wrote it down. But yeah, for whatever reason, the person you're supposed to be teaming with in this match is your opponent, and the Big Show is obviously nowhere to be seen. So when you start it up, no data. Whenever there's a no data character in there, the game just freezes. So nothing that can be done. Also, notice how it's always the Royal Rumble in the SmackDown arena too. So we're gonna play as The Rock from this point on. I just did it in the last one because he's supposed to be the right character against the Big Show. But like I said, he has that taunt in which he is just able to practically instantly win well, not instantly win matches, but it's just so easy to, you know, get your special. It's literally less than a second, just because he has, like, I think a few characters have it, but I know for the fact The Rock has it with his glitchy taunt. It may even been a thing to help the testers with it as well, you know, just to get things quick and out of the way, victories. Also, it is interesting too. I mean, The Rock is still wearing his, you know, 1999, early 2000s trunks, despite the fact he debuted his trunks at WrestleMania 2000. They updated Kurt Angle's outfit in this game, but I don't know. It's just an interesting little detail. At least they allowed it in the final release of the game to where you could switch The Rock's trunks to create an older version of The Rock's, which is cool. Which is interesting because, you know, obviously in the final release we did get quite a few things removed, including Gangrel's supposed pants. But not gonna do the whole match. I'm just showing off some points of interest once again. You know, obviously submissions exist. Gonna showcase a few of The Rock's signature techniques once again. That was supposed to be the, you know, his swinging kick or whatever. I don't know why certain positions and moves just outright do not work, but I figured I'd try and show off all of them. Also, notice the crowd noises. There's not really any crowd noises in the matches, but they have them with the big moves for the matches, and it still sounds kind of off. As you can see, no spine buster for his Irish whip finisher either. Just another version of the rock bottom. Also, 3-count fall, not pinfall. So once again, I mean, listen to that guy's voice, and you know, you guys judge in the comments. Do you think that it is, you know, a different guy that they got the voice files for in the final edition, or do you think that it's the same guy? However, you know, his voice just wasn't pitched to their liking, I guess. No more America the Great. He blew it, guys. And I'm kind of just like showing all this stuff over again. Not because, you know, there's anything new or anything like that, but just kind of show you that, yes, these are in fact the proper paths that you are supposed to take in order to get, you know, the different storylines. And I know it's just a glitch or whatever, or not even a glitch, just not properly inputted. But I think it's actually pretty cool that, you know, whenever you look at the rule sets, you see the entirety of, you know, the backstage, the main menu area, I should say. I don't know, I just think it's cool we got an actual full look at it. But also, I don't know, I think it's cool that you can hear the audience just cheering on before the match starts. I think that would have been cool if they kept that in. And also, as you've seen, there is no weapon taunt at this point. And like I said, the AI is just terrible, so he's not even going to try and stop me. So just a 40-second match. Ooh, not even. And like I said, a lot of taunts in this build just do not work for whatever reason, so The Rock just kind of stands still every time. Even that next texture, when you hit next for the next match, is just left over from Mania 2000. Look at the Michael Cole just holding it like the mic like a G, like he's about to drop it. And now we're going to see the path you get if you let the Big Show win. And you can even see the replays are messed up a little bit, like he was doing his taunt instead of, you know, following a few seconds before when that match actually ended. Continue a new game are also texture files left over from Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. I don't know why. I don't think Trish Stratus is just there in the final release. I could be wrong, I just never noticed. Rock, come on down. I do not accept your judgment of last match. Let's bring it to an end. Just bring it. And obviously he's going to talk like somewhat similar to The Rock because it's supposed to be The Rock in this space. Not Stone Cold. Yeah, same thing. Step into the ring, then finish. Hey Austin, my judgment was fair. There's no reason to something. You lost the game because of lack of base wrestling skill. If you don't mind, I can prove it. Like I said, instead of match, you lost the game. I wonder what they were kind of thinking when they did that. And of course, since this is the last chapter, you have to win. And we're going to showcase on this particular path what it looks like when you actually complete a story. Also, I tried it and maybe I messed up. Obviously, it doesn't work, so I'm not even going to show it. I'm just going to say it. I tried to do the thing in the game where you press L, R, A, and B in a tag match to steal your tag partner's finisher and use it on your opponent. It didn't work for me, so I don't know. Maybe it was just something that was added really late. There is a new temporary champion of World Wrestling Federation, and please welcome the Women's Champion, Rock. Congratulations, Rock, and thank you for playing the course, but it's just a beginning. Good luck. Imagine how cool it would have been if those hooks in the background were swinging for this stage. I mean, I don't think they actually did it in the show. Congratulations, but there will be more obstacles to become a real champion. Something will be a people's champion when you complete all ways to the... I don't know. Enjoy to play the other courses. And always, whenever you restart the game, it always sets you up to the exhibition part. Try the European path. And no matter what option you choose, you can hit new game. As you see, it just doesn't work. Here's the ladder match once again. We're going to showcase what happens if if you lose in the ladder match. This is what I think of, just that, put your hands on the hips, look around the audience thing. That's what I always think of whenever somebody says they want in WWE, they just want to put on a good match for the audience. for these fans. You know what I mean? Man, that shotgun blast is take me out back and make it where I'm the last noise I hear. Alright, now you can see we have the Survivor Series arena as well. Some of them have the stages, some of them don't, as you can see. Three-way battles is a triple threat playthrough attempt. Or, just to test that out, I should say. And Taka Michinoku. I'm not even going to try and read that. Taka said, I will prove my samurai spirit, I am the next. And one more superstar is coming. I don't know what their obsession with, samurai spirit is with Taka in these games. Yeah, that was a part of his gimmick, I didn't realize it. Al Snow, another one, like weird characters. Rock, I am your another opponent. Taka is no match for me. Kind of weird picks for this. You'd think they'd pick more featured star. Like, it makes sense for Jeff Hardy because he was the ladder match guy at the time, but you think like they would have went with like Benoit and Jericho. So yeah, just a basic match. Win the match, of course. Can't stand that freaking shotgun gun noise. I'm so glad they got rid of it in the final. This is a backstage hallway interaction. Probably what led to the Taz interaction, as you can see. Hey, say something. You bumped into me. Okay, come to the ring and face me right now. Do not underestimate me. Boy, Rock was flabbergasted. He couldn't get over it. Love how the animations keep going over and over. And this is going to be the last part of this, as I'm going to showcase what happens if you lose a match. that you are supposed to, like, you have to win. As you can see, fail, retry, there's not really any option, it's just you have to click continue, you lose. Good day, sir. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video today. Once again, I want to, give my thanks to NamiyoVT for, uploading the files. And of course, 90s Fave Key for sharing this build on Reddit to me. That's the reason how I got it off of the Internet Archive. So thank you guys so much for, sharing those builds for not only for me, but for just all of us fans of the series and just people who enjoy beta gameplay and beta builds in general. I was absolutely ecstatic when I found that we actually could have the opportunity to explore these builds. As I've seen on Wrestling Video Game Secrets, he posted some screenshots of course that made the rounds and were pretty easily popular quite a few years ago. But it was always kind of a question of how legit these are and how do you get the footage and all this other stuff. And now we can see this guy was on his, he was perfectly right. I mean, he was everything we've seen in those builds completely true, which means I'm pretty interested to see if we'll ever get the WrestleMania 2000 or WCW NWO Revenge World Tour, any of those beta builds as well. It'd be really cool if we got those. So if somebody who has those builds is watching, don't be greedy, share it with us so we can explore those as well. And like I said, if anybody wants to explore any of the beta builds of WWF No Mercy, I didn't look into the July one at all. It seems very similar to the August build, just kind of more glitchy. So if anybody wants to look into that and share some interesting stuff that was in that isn't in the August build, feel free to share that down below, as I very much appreciate it. Like I said, I was going to actually do a comparison video, start a comparison series for Aki Sunday, in which I'm comparing, an Aki game to maybe another Aki game. Maybe it's to another game made in the same time period, or it's just a game of a similar reputation. So if you're interested, next week I am 100% for sure. I've been playing this series for a long time, and I'm very excited about it. Check out when I compare WWF No Mercy, the final release, to WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. I'm going to compare the rosters, the gameplay styles, the modes that each game has to offer, just to kind of see, not as a competition thing or anything like that, but as more of a, to see the variety that we had at the time between both companies, Yuke's and Aki. Just see how awesome it was, competition landscape wise for, the wrestling consumer. But also, well, thank you guys once again. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of beta footage, people, uploading that stuff on YouTube. There's obviously a few channels that have already uploaded, beta footage as well. I don't own this game or own these builds or anything like that, but the fact that you guys clicked on my videos, hopefully I was able to help you guys learn a bunch of, interesting ideas and concepts that were going to originally be in the final release that we unfortunately did not get, but we can see in this build. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with emulation as a whole, or maybe just don't want to comb through like a glitchy, messy game or something like that to find these things themselves. But once again, thank you so much for choosing to watch my video on this particular topic. It's a dream come true, once again, just to be able to play these builds and see what we could have had. So with that said though, guys, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Once again, Aki Sunday is where I post a video pertaining to an Aki type game, whether it's comparing games to other games, or if there's more beta leaked footage from any of the other Aki games, I definitely will cover it in Aki Sunday. BGMs, reviews, all sorts of stuff, just anything Aki. So if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, like and subscribe. Once again, check out every Sunday. And of course, I would like to hear you guys down below in the comments. What was the most interesting piece of essentially lost media in these titles that we didn't get in the final release that you would have loved? Whether it be the extra entrance themes, Big Show, Lillian Garcia, anything like that. You guys let me know what you guys think. I'm ecstatic to hear you guys share your opinions on stuff, or even ideas you think should have been in the final game that didn't even make it into the beta. I'd love to hear about. But that's going to be all for today, folks. So please remember, above all else, to have a nice day.